Hello, everyone. Welcome to a new online studio workshop by HOFA College. My name is Samir, and on the side I've Steffen.
Hello.
Yes, and today we talk about a few plugins, freeware plugins, which you can use in your own production. And yes, because sometimes maybe you don't want to waste too much money on several plugins, and then you can find some very good free plugins. Yes.
Yes, exactly. But before we begin, we want to announce that the HOFA Song Contest starts officially today. This is our annually song contest where you can upload a song from your band or of your solo project. It's open for every kind of genre. You can win over 25,000 euros in prizes and cash. And please feel free to check out hofa-contest.com and join us there. I guess that's it so far. So, what do we have here?
Yeah, we have virtual instruments as well as mixing plugins like a compressor or an equalizer, and some tools for visual feedback. And yes, I would say we can dive in with our first plugin.
Yes, and we decided to start with a drum plugin, a drum sampler with the Steven Slate Drums 5.5 free, to be specific. This is a freeware version or a light version of their fully featured sampler. Yet again, this one is actually fully featured. We have one drum kit, and we have three variations of that. We have the Deluxe, two free dry and tight, the free standard kit, and the free Hugo kit. They vary in sound from the big roomy rock kit to the dry disco type sound. And let's see what we can do, what you can do with it. Here we have the creation window where we have the kit selection or the instrument selection. As you can see, it's quite limited to the one kit you get with the free version. We have a kick, we have snares, we have toms, hats, right. I think you get it. And what's special about this one is you can also add samples, external samples of one-shots like a kick or snare, if you want to thicken up your sound, the sound of the sampler. And you can also go on and edit your individual elements of the drum kit with an ADSR, the ADSR parameters. Also, you can work with the dynamics and the dynamic range, which determines which dynamic layers are even triggered. Then we have a mixing window where you can route your signals. You can mix them, pan them, just like you can do in your DAW's mixing window. And we have a drum map, and also really cool a small selection of drum loops, which you can use for demoing, or you can use it for a finished product. And we also already prepared a little clip here. So let's see what it sounds like. This is the Hugo kit with the big roomy sound we are hearing right now. So I'm just gonna go on and switch between the kits so we can hear the difference. This is the dry and tight one. So a lot less room, just very a lot less sustain in the samples. Let's go with the standard kit. Yet again, these are all the same samples because we are limited to one kit, just It is done in the preset like that, that they use the ADSR to tighten up the kit in the dry and tight, or used a bit more of the one-shot samples provided here with the additional snare. You can see it right here on the left side here in the instrument. We are now in the free edition. As you can see, there's these are the samples. If the control room can show the DAW, you have right here. You have a little list where you can see your additional samples. We are now in the free kit. You see there's no additional sample loaded. Let's go for the Hugo kit. And there you can see there's an additional snare, which is layered to the standard snare. And together they sound like this. So as I said, you can also add external samples just by drag and drop them right here. Sounds like this. But what you have to do now is go back to the mixing window and then determine right here in the snare punchy sample where you want which MIDI note triggers this sample. So we go to the snare, go to snare center, and then you should be able to hear it. This particular one just thickens up the sound a bit since it's quite punchy and distorted, just to add some bottom to the snare in this case. Yeah, of course you can go with a multi-out routing if you want to group it in your DAW. I guess nothing really too special, but just a good sounding mix-ready kit you can use for demoing, even for finished products, or for example our drum programming course. Yes, so far if you have any questions, feel free to ask in the chat. We're always glad to help you out. So yeah,
I think it's a very powerful plugin. This
actually,
drum
yes.
sample, it's for free, and if you want to start with a simple drum beat or whatever to record something, yeah, I think it sounds great.
Yeah,
So
actually, I would agree, and you can also just experiment with it. We are now on a BPM 160. You can just use different beats. We are now in the pop beat collection. Let's just hear what they sound like. Now it's playing on in halftime. You can determine it right here. This one is intended for a tempo of 92 BPM, so it just sounds rather unnatural if played back in 160. Even go double, but seriously, that doesn't sound really natural. Yeah, so what can we do now to tighten this up even more? And what can we do to tighten it up for free? And even add some punch. Let's go back here, and I'd say we add a little bit of compression. And we decided to show you this one. I'd say it actually looks kind of familiar to you. It looks like the typical SSL bus compressor we all know. I mean, it's very popular. Also, there is a very well-known version by Waves or The Glue, you might know. This one is actually free, and it's by Analog Obsession, a freeware manufacturer. I guess it's even a one-man project. They provide high-quality freeware plugins, EQs, saturation, also compressors, and some other utilities. You can download it for absolutely free. And I guess if you're familiar with the bus compressor or compressors in general, you already know the controls. We have a threshold right here. We have a makeup gain. We have our attack and our release, just like the original. We have the same parameters, and we have the auto release, dry wet for the mix, and also the ratio. On this side, we have some additional controls. To be perfectly honest, I have never gone that far into the plugin, so I didn't check what the turbo and the X format does. But this is very important, the main button, because this determines where the input is coming from. And if the main button isn't pressed, the compressor is just not working because there's nothing going into it. Yeah, also we have a sidechain. You can go with an internal or an external sidechain, and you could determine right here what to which frequency range the sidechain reacts. But let's stop the talking and let's hear some compressed drums. Overdo it a bit. Going parallel. Let's say we don't want it to react to the bass drum. Can do that in the sidechain right here. Yeah, it's doing exactly what it's supposed to do. It tightens up the drum sound, and yeah, just like it would do that the original SSL channel does. Let's go with the auto release. I mean, now we're doing a very fast attack and a very fast release, so it's just completely pushing down the transients. So it sounds rather unnatural, but like this, it would really work really well in parallel. Sidechain again. Could also activate an external sidechain if you want to use it as it's done in electronic music. If you want to duck the bass, for example, or a bass group or something, yeah, just like you would do with any other compressor. Let's see if there's something. Yeah, if you care about that, there's also an oversampling function. This is also uniform for all the Analog Obsession plugins. Clicking the Analog Obsession logo, it turns red, and then it's oversampling 2 times. So, what do you think?
Yes, it's very nice. Like Steffen said, I think it sounds great. I really like the controlling, the feeling of the plugin, but it is the feeling is very nice in all the Analog Obsession plugins. I think it's. I don't know. It's very smooth when you drag the knob or you, just have a look at this plugin. It looks like the analog
Actually, yes.
brother or sister.
There's actually a lot of effort going into these, and this is something
Yes.
you should not underestimate how a plugin feels, because a good UI is always something that drags you to a plugin, or this, makes you use it even more. But if you have a bad UI, this is usually you'll notice really quickly that this alone is that this is reason enough not to use something. So yeah, and this is also we are very familiar with the interface and also the sound the original creates, or the Waves one creates, and I think this is really close. So yeah, that's about it. Of course, these are all free. That's the beautiful thing about this. You can check these plugins out, just download them. These are available for all platforms, I guess, which is the case for most of the plugins we're showing you today. They are available in VST3 format, AIX, and some also as audio units for the Mac users. But I guess we are short on time today, so let's just move on.
Yes,
So
let's
did
go
you
to
bring?
another instrument this time. So I guess some people will know this little guy over here. It's a wavetable synthesizer. Oh, we have a little issue with the scaling, so I would just resize it. So this was cut it. So this is the vinyl synth. Yes. What is the cool thing about this? Yes, it's a little brother, or almost the real brother of the Serum by Xfer, if you know that. And it's completely free. I guess there is also a paid version which offers more wavetables, I guess, because
Exactly.
yes, and presets. But however, if you just need a simple synth for synthesizing your own sounds, you can use it because you have no limitations at all. Similar to the SSD drums, yeah, you can just choose your wavetable over here, and you have a lot of bunch to choose from, though. For example, the basic shapes. Everyone who's a little bit familiar with subtractive synthesis, you will know those shapes. The sine wave, a sine wave with a little more overtones, the triangle, the classic saw, square, square with higher pulse width, and so on. And yeah, I would say I would play this one. This is not the best hit melody, but it's enough for this purpose, I guess.
I guess we turned down the channel fader.
Yes, yes. So I would, yeah, make it a little bit quieter.
Yeah.
So, yeah. First of all, you hear nothing special. It's a simple wave form. Yes, in this case, it's a sawtooth, classical one. And yeah, this section you can put on your oscillators. You've got 3. And an additional sample oscillator or sample engine, which you can use very different samples like a pink noise, brown noise, white noise, or other textures. This gives your sound more texture and more character. I like it very much to work with those textures. Yeah, and so it's very powerful. Let's just say we can, yeah, use the sawtooth, a classic one. Also in the section you've got a unison section, yeah, which adds more voices and spreads them up in the stereo width and detunes them, more or less. Yeah, and on the right side you can find the envelopes. You've got 3 pieces. That's very nice. You can do creative stuff with that without limitations. 3 envelopes, and 4 LFOs, low frequency oscillators, and even 2 randomized features, randomizer. Yeah, so envelope 1 is always the amp envelope, which controls the general volume with an envelope. For example, you can make more decay to the sound, more sustain, or attack. And so you can create your own sound. Let's add another oscillator. Yes, you can pitch them. Yeah. So, and of course, you always need a filter. You've got two of them, which you can combine or run it parallel, and so on. And yes, this controls to which filter your oscillator goes. You can here you can control the cutoff, resonance. So we got the right subtractive synthesis. Can lay down. You can. This is the fact. What I meant that it is the brother from the serum or the free brother, because you can also move your envelopes, or you can modulate several parameters in this synthesizer. You can route your envelope to the cutoff, for example, which yeah is a common way. But you could also grab another envelope and yes. And this is for every parameter, or almost every parameter. You also got an effect section with many effects. So chorus, compressor, delay, distortion, until the reverb, and so on. And you can also change the order of this row of the signal path. Yes. Saturation or distortion. Delay. Choose ping pong. Can make crazy stuff. Reverb. And a nice compressor. Yes, which you can choose multiband or other bands. And this one, maybe you can recognize it, is an over-the-top compression style, multiband compression with 3 bands, lows, mids, and highs. And yes, this is included in this synthesizer in Virtual. So, talking about this multiband compressor, we will dive into the next free plugin. Let's bypass this little guy and let's include or insert yes, a new plugin, the OTT. I guess this one is also a quite popular plugin. What?
Yeah, you can.
Resizing. Oh, all right. Just put it on the right side on the other monitor, and yes, all right. So this is a compressor, multiband compressor, up and downward compression. It means that you got an upward compression, which makes the quiet signals or signal paths a little bit louder, and the downward compression, the regular compression, which makes the louder signals quieter. And both of them leads to a very compressed sound. But this is the aim. This is the way we almost want to have, because you actually you use this compressor as a parallel compressor, most in electronic dance music, but you could try it in every genre, I guess. It makes the sound much crisp, very, very crisp. But with the depth knob, you can control, as a mix, dry, wet knob. You also could change the ratio between the upward and downward compression. If you say, I want to have less downward compression but more upward compression, you can choose that. You also can make it louder, or you, in the most cases, I would say the standard preset over here is nice. You can use this and only control the depth button. However, if you think you need to change the compression rate of the several bands, mids, highs, or lows, you can also control this, or the output gain of the bands itself. Yeah, and time parameter, which controls attack and release. Yeah, of course we have reverb on that and delay, so I have to resize it again. I guess there's a little problem with Cubase and window scaling option from the monitor, so this is why the resizing is a little bit complicated. We've got reverb and delay. Of course, if you use a compressor after that, it puts them together. Yeah. This is it, more or less, with these two plugins. What do you think? I hear that you also use the vinyl sometimes.
Yes, and because the thing is, I am more of the metal and rock guy, so my experience with sound synthesis are quite limited. So when I was in the market for a synthesizer just to thicken up my backing tracks for my productions, I wanted something is simple but also sounds good, and I really quickly switched to the Vital Synth because it's really easy to use. The drag and drop options are great. Some of the presets actually work pretty well, and as Samir already said, there is a paid version of this one where you get a lot of presets and more wavetables. But the cool thing is, if you just look a little bit around the internet, you'll get free presets or producer packs which you can download and add into the free version. It will work. You just need to be careful which version you're using, because there is an early access version of Vital and the stable version. This is the early access version we are using, but so you might think the scaling problem comes from that, but this is actually we tried this with other plugins. This is actually a Cubase issue. But yeah, that's the big plus for me, is actually how simple and yet how complex this one is. I'm not intimidated by it. I just can play around and still know exactly what I did, even if this is not my key competence in producing music. So yeah, I guess this one is a good starting point for everyone who's trying to get more in depth with sound synthesis in general. And yeah, we talked about that we have a reverb on here, and what we let's say we wanted, we added after the OTT. There's also a nice little freeware version of that, and that's the Tal Reverb 4. So I guess we both used it already. This is kind of a playful reverb. You have your standard parameters like the size, the damp, pre-delay, diffusion, and stereo width. You can control dry and wet separately. Then what's kind of cool is a ducking function here that is integrated. You can also trigger this by sidechain. You have a little EQ section in here where you can apply a high and low cut, and also cut a narrow frequency you determine right here. The lo-fi function or the bit crushing function is pretty cool. You can also tune it so you get some nice frequency shifting type of effect, and also we have a little bit of modulation. Yeah, I guess let's just see what it sounds like on our potentially hit melody we wrote here. So let's center it here. Just decrease the direct signal so you can hear what's going on in the reverb. Some bit crushing going on. Stay with the ducker.
This is a very cool function because you don't have to put another compressor in and route the sidechain signal and so on. You just have to, push this knob to make a ducking effect.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
That's very nice.
There are also we can show. I can show it in another context right after that, but let's go with low and high cut doing what they are supposed to do. Let's make it a bit bigger. Let's damp it a bit. Still have the lo-fi engaged.
Yes, and it works with every signal.
Yeah,
you can throw drums to it. You can throw synthesizer or other instruments.
Exactly. Yeah, it's quite versatile. So and as everything we showed today, it's completely free. So just try it out. So yeah, I'd say let's move on to something a little bit different. We're done with our free instruments section. So let's go to stuff you can apply to signals you recorded, just like this guitar DI signal. Let's see if we have everything going as we wanted. Yeah, let's center it. And yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's a guitar DI signal. That's as basic as it gets. And yeah, let's say you could imagine this is a rock riff or metal riff. So let's go with an amp simulation and use a Freeware amp sim, the Amped Roots by ML Sound Lab. This is kind of a similar concept as the ones we already presented here. This is there is yet again a paid version of this plugin, but this one, the 5034, is a simulation of the EVH 5150 head. And yeah, that's basically one of the most common metal amps you can find out there. What's cool about this one is this one, the 5150, is completely usable without limitations. We have the amp head section, we have a tuner integrated. Of course, we have a pedal board with a noise gate, compressor, a in an overdrive, you could use this one as a boost, for example. I can show that right now. A chorus, delay, and reverb. So you can also use this, for example, if you're not only in your productions, but also when you're on stage. For example, if you're using your laptop as your main amplifier. Because there's also you can also control. You have MIDI controls, and you can use an external MIDI controller to control the pedal board. So if you want to engage the reverb or the delay for solo sections, you can map this to your MIDI controller. Also, we have a cabinet section with 3 different cabinets with 4 different mics for each. But this is not. These are not static impulse responses. These are 3D model cabinets where you can also change the distance from the mic to the cabinet, and also the angle, and of course the position between the cone and the dust cap. So you're basically you get so many tones because you also can mix the two IR signals together. And what you can also do is load custom IRs. So if you have a cabinet you love, you can also use it with this one. So yeah, let's let's see what it sounds like. This is kind of the standard Mesa oversized SM57 combination like you had in many metal productions. Let's mix in the other side. Choosing the microphone. This adds a lot of bottom right from the get-go. And this is just by fiddling with the cap. You get so many options. What I did here, it comes if you load the plugin, it comes up like this. Everything is on noon. It sounds like this. But since we're dialing in the metal tone here, let's decrease the gain actually, because we're really on high gain, and this particular riff is played in G minor on a guitar that's tuned to drop C. So we get a lot of in the palm mutes. And to control these in the first place and to add some definition, let's just dial back the gain. And fiddle with the EQ bit. Presence is really interesting because it shifts the whole tone. You could also add your pedal board, add the noise gate. Just get rid of some noise. You see. Using the drive knob as a clean boost just to tighten up the low end. It sounds a bit thin on its own, but this would work really well in a mix because we have a lot of other stuff going on in the low end. Add some chorus. The only downside here is that you don't have fixed time parameters, so you'll not be able to sync this with your song's tempo. So this is more, you could use if you're jamming along or just doing some stuff, or use it live, such as the delay. Yeah, I mean, these pedals just do exactly what's written on them. So yeah, nothing special around here. But this is also kind of a cool thing about simple plugins. They just do what they're supposed to be and what they say they're doing. So I don't know what's your experience with cap simulations or amp simulations. So what do you think about this?
I think it's very nice because we have to say it over and over again. These plugins are for free. You can download it for free and install them and use it in your project. So I would say giving a try is always valuable. And this, yes, of course, you only get one amp and this cabinet, I guess. Huh? But if you just want to have a guitar which sounds a little bit noisy, you can throw it in and just jam along, or maybe it fits in your production. It could be.
I mean, you could also combine this one with a Vital, and go really crazy about what you.
Yes, be creative.
Let's
Yes.
just do it.
Yes. It almost sounds like a guitar. So why not?
I mean, options are limitless. So
Yes.
yeah, amp sims on keys are also a fun thing to do. Yeah, as I said, and as he said, these are free, and you can just check what's going on. Checking what's going on is a good point, because we have something on our master here that's not really doing much except for showing the waveform of your signal or of your whole mix. Let's just not sure how it sounds. Yeah, but this is a good example actually, because we wanted to show what the plugin does if you have a I don't know what's going on here. If you want to check how loud the signal is, or if you have any peaks sticking out, you can do it like this. You can also pause it if you want to check in a bit closer. Don't know if I said the name of the plugin. It's the Wave Observer. Yet again, free version and paid version, but the free version does basically everything you want to know. You can check your. It's just a little nice little utility, because if you want to check what your compression or your limiting is doing live, you have two options. You can render your track, or you can use an oscilloscope like this one, and check what your compression or your leveling is doing to the overall waveform. I mean, the levels now, they are horrible, to be perfectly honest, but it's just about showing what's going on, because now you can see how much louder the snare and the bass drum are in relation to the to our Vital and our guitar track. So let's just turn it down. You can also check the left and right channels individually. And if you have problems with seeing green or red, didn't think about that actually, you can change to orange, blue. So just go with what you prefer. They also have an envelope mode, which you can check your envelope shape in detail. And this is something, these plugins are not as flashy or exciting as, for example, a compressor or an analog model compressor like the Buster we've shown, or the amp simulation revolves. But these are great tools if you want to really get to know what's going on in your mix, because also, of course, we at HOFA, we have our IQ analyzer, and I mean, you shouldn't mix too much with your eyes, because actually it's about using your ears. But these are also great indicators if you're not quite sure about something going on, like, for example, the level of your drums, your snare, or something like this. You could also use that, the Wave Observer and check what's going on.
Yeah, I think it's as you said, you should mix by ears or produce by ears. That's right. But I think the visual feedback of your sound is a little bit underrated because, yeah, as you said, you can control your signal. Maybe your room is not perfectly treated well in acoustics. You can use a frequency analyzer to have a look in a bass range. Maybe there are some heavy resonances or rumbling going on, and you don't hear it because you can't hear it. Yes, and that's why I think it's important to have a visual control.
Also, really interesting if you're mastering, if you're using a limiter. Something that's often happens is that we for our analysis we get tracks that are very squashed because loud is always better and so on. And then, for example, if you use a limiter on everything, just do it and go with something you get for free in the HOFA system mixbox. Oh yeah, of course. Let's say we're using the master limiter. This in the smooth mode. This one is free in the HOFA system mixbox, such as every other plugin we have in system. There are some free versions of that with slight limitations, as with the other plugins we've shown you today. So we have 5 different modes here, and the smooth one is the free one. So just go and reduce the level in the output a bit so we don't get our ears blown off. And let's see what's going on with the loud snare here when we use limiter.
Oh yes.
I mean, we're absolutely overdoing it right now, but it's squashed. You can see how much more the snare is sticking out here and how much denser it gets. But we're also, of course, we're already getting artifacts. This is just to show you what's going on and how you can use the wave observer to check your... Pause this for a second and check our snare transients, which are, let's go even more into detail. I mean, these are squashed. You can see that they're just. And this is a nice indicator if you're checking for distortions caused by limiting. You can use it like this. Because a good master or a loud master is often comes with compromise, and you can find that compromise just like that.
Yes, in general, compression and such like that, you can have a visual control if you're not familiar with the hearing compression to hear right compression. So this could be a helpful tool.
Yeah, just to learn the sound or the effect of compression and what it's doing. Yeah,
I guess I would use it also for sound design purposes in order to create a nice kick for techno, where it is also important, very important, how long your kick sounds. This is very, very important, and you can just control this.
I guess also for dialing in your sidechain for compressions, just to get your attack and release right.
All right. So, if I'm right, I would say we can now dive into the next free plugin, which is an equalizer, TDR Nova. Yes, let's just make a little bit reverb because it's very directly. And a little bit, more in the background. So, just make it solo. So, this one is a dynamic equalizer, also for free. You can compare it a little bit with FabFilter Pro Q or something similar.
Like the IQ EQ.
IQ EQ, of course, the IQ. The IQ EQ is more powerful, I would say, because you could use it also as a whole channel strip or as a whole, not
basically
a whole channel
as a
strip,
multiband, yeah.
But yes, yeah.
But if you're getting to want to get to know how dynamic equalizer, because that's the nice thing about this isn't a dynamic equalizer, how they work, this is a good starting point.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, you can turn on also the visual feedback. In the standard, it's off, but it's also right. You
just go by ear and then.
Yes, but you can see there's a lot of bass going on here, which we don't need. We don't really need. So you can turn on a high pass or a low cut filter. And you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bands in general, if you count the high pass and the low pass as a whole band. But this is an advantage, I would say, because you don't have to use a band to filter out your frequencies in the low or in the high end. And yeah, it's quite simple equalizer. Which has dynamic function.
Actually quite powerful dynamic functions, because you already compared it to the Pro Q3, which also has some nice dynamic features, but this one has also, apart from the threshold, you can adjust the ratio and the attack and release, which FabFilter saved for the MB2 for the multiband compressor. You can't do that in the Pro Q.
Yes.
What's also nice, if you want to do some upward dynamic compression, just go with a with a ratio that's lower than 1:1. It actually can do that.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, as a free plugin, you can.
That's really nice.
You don't have the excuse that you don't have the right equalizer.
No, absolutely not. I mean, apart from your stock plugins, which are also pretty great as we're speaking, because most stock plugins will also just get the job done. Do we have something else we want to show? Yeah, of course.
Yes, let's show the HOFA saturator. I would open the HOFA system. This is the toolbox you can get also for free, with some limitation, of course, but you can use, I guess, all the plugins, the modules in this case, if you use it as a toolbox. And also EQing. But I'd like to dive into this saturator, which comes with a 1950s algorithm for free. In the full version, you get more algorithm. And yeah, what does this plugin? It saturates your sound. So you can create more overtones, make it more aggressive, cut better through the mix. If you choose a bass, for example, filter it. Yeah, and of course you get the Böse button. Böse means evil.
In German, yeah.
In German, so yeah, as it sounds evil, you get an evil sound,
really,
of course.
It's almost driving into distortion, really
yes.
hard clipping this.
Yes.
I mean, something that actually lives on many groups and sometimes also on my master bus, because it just works. You have to be a bit careful if you're mixing with saturation, because can get dirty really quick, especially if we're talking about low end, which in this case you could also just add the multiband module and say, okay, just saturate everything above, just because my English is broken right now. It's just saturate everything above 600 hertz. These are just some of our favorite freeware plugins that also just accompanied us for the last years, and we still use, even if there are great commercial products out there. And one last thing we want to show you is where do you get those? I mean, apart from the manufacturer's website, we have there are great resource websites such as the Bedroom Producers blog. This is a little, it's not so little, I guess, blog which just collects free VSTs, categorizes them if you're in the market for free graphic EQs, for example, or gates, even instruments. This is a good starting point, and also what's pretty nice. Oh, here we have it.
Number one.
It's actually quite popular, of course. Then this is also really nice. This Surge XT, which is quite powerful, but a bit more complicated, I'd say. Then, of course, we have a really nice news section. If there are free or discounted products anywhere, you will find them right here. Also in the news segment, if there's some niche website offering a discount on plugins and so on, you're always gonna find them there. Just you can check recently; they are pretty up to date. So yeah, I guess that's it from our side. I hope, or we hope, that you enjoyed this little demonstration of what you can do for absolutely free, and how far you can take it by paying basically nothing except your DAW and your computer. And yeah, we actually had it about just one last question. What is the one free plugin you would say you used from the start when you started producing music and still use?
So you asked me?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a very good question. I would say, the Beatle synth, because you get a synthesizer, you can create, you have no excuses. Yes, there in its version, in the free version, you don't have that much presets or and so on, or wave tables, but you can believe me when I say that you can create the most powerful and most accurate sounds or presets only with basic shapes, because it's very important to know your tools, to know what do you have to do when it comes to sound design, and create your own stuff, combining 2 or 3 wavetables or oscillators, and you could also make a frequency modulation, and then you can get the most creative stuff, or own authentic stuff, and so on. And it's powerful. You don't have any limitations. You can use all effects. You can use other effects if you want. Yes, so I would say this one. I would. Yeah.
Okay. Sounds pretty good. So for me, it's something we haven't shown today, and just because even if we are overtime, I guess we started a little later. I just gonna show it. Dun, dun, dun. The Loudmax limiter. This is just a simple limiter, as stripped down as it gets. It has an input gain, it has an out you have a link button, so you can just drag them down both the camera, and you can also operate it in ISP mode. I usually use this if I just have to get it done quick and dirty. So, for example, I'm one of those guys who just limits their bass. And if I want to do it quickly, I just go without raising the volume. I just get this one, hit the link button, and go and just drag the knobs if I have until I have a sound I want. So yeah, I guess this I used from my early days of music production until now, and it costs absolutely nothing. So yeah, that's basically it for today. Yet again, if you have any questions left, feel free to ask them in the chat. And so before we say goodbye, we just want to remember you of the HOFA Song Contest that has started today. You can, if you have a band, if you have a solo project, if you have just something, if you have music you want to get out, feel free to join the contest. There are many nice prizes, cash, and also some nice gear you can win, totaling in overall price range for 25,000 euros from different manufacturers. Just feel free to check the website hofa-contest.com, and you will be able to submit your song. Jesus. You'll be able to submit your song until August 3rd. So, yeah, that's it.
Yes.
I'd say so. You have
We're done,
anything
I
to add?
guess. No, I don't think so. Yes.
In this case, have a great day.
Bye.
Bye.